Welcome back to RGR Football. I'm Ryan. This is me going rogue on the Kansas City Chiefs and what they're doing across the NFL. Today's a new one. We have to get into smashing rumors again because they happen to keep popping up. Been getting a lot of questions about the tail end of free agency here, or at least what I'm calling the tail end of it. It is third wave-ish time, sort of. This season is definitely different than all the others. So you can't really go by a hard and fast rule of where we are in this process. There's still some veterans out there. If you're new to the channel, click the like and the sub and the bell notification so you get more vids like this. And as well as everything else that we do around here. Live streams on Monday and Thursday, film reviews on Wednesdays, mocks, all kinds of stuff in the off season, and then we get back into the regular season thing. We're building up to the Athletic Matrix that comes out this week from Rogue Analytics over at rogueapc.com. You can always check that out, and I'll give you guys a code here later. Today, a couple of topics. Some that came up in the live stream this week. Some that have just been getting through Twitter or iTunes reviews for Locked On Chiefs. If you're not subbed to Locked On Chiefs, go over there and check that out. That's a daily podcast I do with Chris Clark. We go over all kinds of aspects that aren't on this channel. Really great conversation back and forth. Check that out. But in fact, I think the first topic came from one of those particular reviews, and it is about Jadeveon Clowney. A lot of folks, for some reason, as free agency kind of winds down and goes through its paces, want to get an idea of why not bring in Jadeveon Clowney. And I get the aspect, especially now that they have Frank Clark on one bookend at defensive end, and then Chris Jones and Jaron Reed on the inside to provide some pass rush. And then they're going to be subbed out for Derek Nottie, who's great against the run. He may actually still start some games because you want that run defense. And then Colin Saunders and Turk Wharton are going to be in there as well. So it's a nice defensive tackle group. But then you get to the left-hand side of the defense, and you have question marks. Mike Dana played admirably as a rookie. He did have an injury thing, and he is a good all-around player at this point in his career. But I can't say that he's a designated pass rusher, and that's really what I think the fan base is looking for. That's where these questions come from. And I know that there are some out there that want to perpetuate these as rumors. A rumor is really something that has some basis in inside information, that it might be going around. It's not just pure conjecture from the outside of the situation. And a lot of that line gets grayed as we go through this process. So I really want to say this as clearly as possible. There's no reason, given the last couple of seasons from Jadeveon Clowney in signing contracts and not producing pass rush, for anyone to feel like he's a solution to come in and play across from Frank Clark in this defense that Spags is trying to put together that has to pressure with four. That's the key. If you can't pressure with four, this system doesn't work. That's why you saw the struggles against everything last year, including the pass. And obviously we know what the run defense is, but you can't go and spend money on a veteran to try and fill out your front four, to be the fourth of that four, if you can't consistently get pass rush. He's got to get pressures. He's got to finish and get sacks as well. The Chiefs already have a multi-million-dollar defensive end that gets pressure but doesn't finish and get sacks. At least he didn't in 2020. And there's a lot of folks that are really keen to see Frank Clark get back to normal like he was in Seattle, and quite frankly, as he was for the Super Bowl run in the postseason in 2019. That's still up in the air as well. So I cannot see any reason to double down and spend the millions of dollars it will take to sign a veteran like Clowney if you don't know for certain that you're going to get the effort and the dedication and the team-first aspect of getting pressure to help that whole defense out. I think that's just out there on a lark because there's no evidence that what he's done the last couple of seasons in signing these contracts with coaches that he likes or felt he could at least perform with, and then not to turn around and perform. So that's got to be shoved out the window as far as I'm concerned. Then we get to the topic that came up on the live stream here this week. A lot of questions, and I get the concept. People want a name because the Chiefs cornerback group is for large part nameless. Yes, L'Jarius Sneed had a great season in 2020, but he's still, a second-year player. right now, it's him, Fenton, and Charvarius Ward should be back on a very restricted free agent deal. That's going to be a pretty easy thing to accomplish. The big question becomes, do they try to bring back Bashaud Breeland? And what we've seen on social media as of late is that Bashaud said he hasn't been in contact with them in a while. That generally means that they're waiting it out till the very end to see if he gets a contract somewhere else. And much like Demarcus Robinson did in 2020, if he doesn't end up signing somewhere, doesn't get an offer that he likes, and he's still out there on the street when it comes time to make up for either just pre-draft or post-draft to see if you can shore up the things you didn't get done on draft weekend, then that's when I think they might go looking for Bashaud Breeland to come back. I think he really wants to get paid. At his age, I don't blame him a bit. This is approaching the time when a veteran at 29 years old needs to get his last big contract, hopefully for multiple years. So I can understand him holding out as well and kind of holding off on trying to sign. But that doesn't mean that you go out and pursue Richard Sherman, because Sherman is at best in a cover 3 defense. And the Chiefs will run some cover 3 from time to time, but is by no means their base. When I look back at the numbers from how they aligned last season, it was a lot of single high and a lot of split high where you didn't see the conversion to a true cover 3 where you're running those deep zones off the corners. And that's what Richard Sherman does best. Now, can he play man-to-man? He can. It's not his strength. And every year that goes by, despite the fact that he has been an Iron Man at the position, it makes it harder for him to make an impact. That said, I don't know that I like his blitz ability at his age any longer, and you've seen the Chiefs have to use their DBs and enjoy using their DBs in blitz packages. I think that's another aspect there. And again, it comes back to everything that it comes back to in free agency is the dollars. And this is a position that the Chiefs have not been interested in spending on. We've seen that over and over. That's why you have a restricted rights free agent coming to the end of his time on a cheap deal in Charvarius Ward, and you have young guys on their rookie deals in Fenton and L.J. Snead. Bo Peake is in there. DeAndre Baker is a question mark at the back, but they're all very young. And yes, you do need a veteran. I do admit that is something I would like to see in the room, but at the cost per veteran, I think it's much better to go back and try to pick back up Bashaud Breeland than it is to try and sign Richard Sherman. And that brings me to the last one that I get no matter what time of year it is, whenever he's not attached to a team or hasn't detached himself from a team yet, I get questions about Antonio Brown. And it doesn't matter to me that he was a small piece of the offense in Tampa that won last year, and that he maintained his discipline and didn't get in trouble off the field because he was with Tom Brady and he really wanted that second chance. I don't see that working out in Kansas City. I don't see him fitting in with a group that already has Tyreek Hill as its primary go-to. I think, if anything, I think he might become more of a distraction, especially if he's behind McCole Hardman as well, and if they draft someone. And even if you did sign AB, you would have to draft someone in the position because you have to see down the future. AB's getting older as well. So I don't see that as a fit for what I think will eventually, whoever he plays for, whether it's Tampa Bay or somebody else, I think will eventually be something that he will continue to go back to what he's done before, and that is either self-sabotage or just become a complete distraction. And I am fairly certain, after the disappointment of Super Bowl 55, that this team wants zero distractions. So that's where I'm at on rumors today. Members, I'm going to have something extra for you on another one coming up, and I'm going to have something for you guys tomorrow morning. Make sure you check back if you're not already subbed, hit the like and the bell and the sub and all those things, because I'm going to talk about KJ Wright for tomorrow morning's little news brief. So don't miss that. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll catch you tomorrow.